We only heard of the Ollie Watkins links when Duran was going to Saudi. So how was it possible? How is it possible that you guys were going to get a striker in the first place? Because you guys only started to try for a striker at the back end of the window, a bit like us and a bit like what Chelsea were doing as well, when everyone was like twerking for Mateus Tell. But this is the thing, like you can't build everything on one side of your team. Where if you're not going to buy a attacker, Arteta decided to go all the way to build it on the defense. But listen, your defense was looking like some Spectrum JLS. I can't lie. Gabriel Saliba looking like Aston Marigold or whatever the other guy's name is. Bro, the Algerian Timber, yeah, was thinking the fucking place out. Gabriel's thinking the place out. Saliba's thinking the place out. Saliba's best highlight is just doing this in the changing room. That's it. That's his best highlight in his whole career. He done fuck all. You ain't got nothing to represent for what you're trying to do season in, season out. That's why he wants to leave. But by the way he's playing, Real Madrid ain't going to want you. They're fine with Asensio. Partey, more cases than passes completed. I can't lie. Thomas Partey is like someone you can't be relying upon in 2025. Gabriel Saliba, if you're going to rely on your defenders to win you a league, no, you're in the wrong place. Because as much as defense wins you titles, defense will win you titles when your attack bails you out. So you're still finishing chances. If the defenders are doing their job whilst keeping clean sheets, but you're not creating any chances, that's still the attack's fault. You can't be relying upon not conceding week in, week out. Because then you draw so many games like you have been doing, like the Brighton game, like the Fulham game. You already know this, but your fan base seems to have not been woken up yet. Because when are your fan base going to wake up about Arteta? When is your fan base going to wake up and be like, okay, maybe second 3 or 4 seasons in a row isn't good enough? Because you can't keep finishing second and be like, oh, we go again next year. I was the first version of what people mocked Liverpool for. I remember in the 18-19 season when Liverpool missed out by 1 point and Arsenal fans were like, but you didn't win it. You guys were sick around that time. Now you're in that position yourself. You're not coming home with a Champions League. You're not coming home with a Premier League, FA Cup or Carabao Cup. At least Klopp managed to win at least something in a season so they could go out and celebrate. That is something to celebrate. Not all of this. I know about this, by the way. I'm part Indian. I know about this. So when you're doing all of this, you're meant to be praying. You're meant to be peaceful. I know about all of this. This is not peaceful, bruv. The only thing is peaceful. The only one that's peaceful right now is Liverpool. There's the Scousers. They're not worried. Arsenal fans are doing thank you Darwin Núñez tweets when he missed that fucking shot against Villa, bruv. Now Liverpool fans are doing thank you to literally every person on that pitch yesterday. Every person on that pitch. No one turned up, not a single player. And you're right about the youngsters. Ranieri and Lewis Skelly, they're playing out of position and they're young. I mock them because it's funny. But at the same time, the senior players got to turn up. And Declan Rice now is no longer a youth player. He's playing out of position, but he's not a youth player anymore. I remember when he was a youth player. He had the square head, square trim. The hair looked like it was just plopped on his head. But now, looks like a grown man playing in the wrong position, not turning up in big games, not turning up against his former club. You're meant to just everyone turns up for their former club regardless of how you left. Whether you left on a good note or a bad note. He scored it in the 6-0, don't get me wrong, but we was already dead by then. Turn up when you need to turn up. Be the guy. Not just taking corners all the time. Not because, Arteta's developed him. Arteta has changed him. Arteta's made him into a better player. It's the same player. Arteta hasn't developed anyone. The players that have come through Arsenal are already individuals. Ranieri's already an individual. That man is a natural talent. Lewis Skelly is a natural talent. Saka has application already. Arteta hasn't improved Saka. Saka's just playing in his right position now. It is simple as that. You haven't got any main men. You haven't got anyone that's Arteta's improved. And we're talking about 2025. In the back end of 2019 was where Arteta got hired. Around the same time we hired David Moyes. And we're still talking about who is Arteta improved. If we have to debate that now, you know that the manager needs to go. You know the manager needs to go. Because when it comes to this fan base, wake the fuck up. In fact, don't wake the fuck up. Carry on how you are. Because it's more fun this way. It's more fun this way. Because when there's people in the chat, when there's people like Northside, etc., when there's people like my guy Alfie, talking about calling shit out week in, week out, about Arsenal, about Arteta, the rest of the fan base are making charts on Twitter about whether you deserve to win or not. Well done. Deserve to win hype. Whoever wins deserves to win. There's no chart, there's no graph. When I was growing up watching football in the 2010s, or in the early 2000s, or late 2000s, sorry, I'm not looking at a chart. I'm not looking at a graph to see who wins football. Whoever wins, wins. Football's a very simple game. I'm not a performance analyst. I'm a YouTuber technically. I'm not looking at stats. I'm not looking at stats to win a game. And when it comes to Arteta, this guy's lost, but he's comfortable. That's the problem. The fan base have made him comfortable. No one's booing when Arsenal lose like you used to. Arsenal fans, I rated how Arsenal fans tried to get Wenger out because you guys wanted more. I understood it. Like, I never saw Arsenal win a league, so I understood why you wanted it. Arsenal fans are comfortable now. When Arsenal lose, there's no booing, there's no accountability. There's a divided fan base, but the boos ain't stronger than the cheers. You got North London forever. You got some wanker banging a drum. Like, you got, like, these ultras definitely have a group chat, by the way. These guys that dress in all black, all dress in all black and act intimidating. Like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck is going on? Arsenal never used to be like this. Never used to be like this. And I know there's still hardcore fans that still go there. But they're unfortunately the minority now. They're the minority. There's no, like, keeping up of the same standard. You've started the trend of becoming that club that was a fallen giant and now accepting where you wanted as the minimum. You wanted top 4 as the minimum. Now you're accepting top 4. Your board are accepting top 4. Because as long as Arteta gets Champions League, it's fine. And let's say Arteta even misses out one season, he finishes 5th on one season, he'll still keep his job. They just won't sign a new contract. They'll wait until the next year when he finishes back in the top 4 to sign a contract again. And the problem is, let's say for some reason you guys didn't invest, you fall off, you become 5th again. You then will have another season where you get back into the top 4 and your fan base will be like, no, but we're progressing again. We're going to get back up there in a couple of seasons. It's an ongoing cycle. And you're fighting an uphill battle, unfortunately. And games like that are the representation of that. How can you, like, you've only lost 3 home games in your last 30-odd, and 2 of them have been us. One of them, I'm pretty sure the other one was Aston Villa. It must have been because I was in between. So despite how, like, well you think you do on these unbeaten runs, first of all, a lot of those are draws. But the league is fine margins. And it's not like you guys don't have the chance to improve. You guys have transfer windows. And you guys never seem to capitalize upon that. So you're fighting an uphill battle, unfortunately.
Rice must start every game. Oh, it's okay. Even if Saka drops his thinker, he must start. There are no accountability. When I wanted proper players, they said to me, oh, but who's going to come in and play second fiddle? Well, bro, it shouldn't be a given that this starting 11 stays starting 11 if you bring in good quality, as good, if not better. It should be based on performances, whether it's your favorite or not. If he's not performing, then he needs to hold bench. But these men want to be holding on to these players, yeah? And now it's to the detriment of the team. This fan base wanted a bench that don't challenge the starting 11. Well, guess what? I told them, we'll get into a situation where you got suspensions or injuries, and then you have to rely on this bench. Welcome to relying on this bench. This is what you get. This is what you get because you don't want your favorites to be dispossessed. And and they're saying we're unlucky with injuries. I went through the injury list. We're not the only ones that have had injuries. Loads of teams have had injuries this season. Brighton have had a load of injuries. Newcastle had a load of injuries at the start of the season. Loads of clubs have had to deal with injuries. Man City have had a load of injuries. Liverpool have had a couple of injuries. Oh, not as much as us. Well, we've had five years to address building a team that can sustain having multiple injuries. Why didn't we bring back any of the loan players? Because those were players that they told me that we should trust. Nuntavaj, Lokonga, Fabi Vieira. So why are we not bringing them down? Since we got so many injuries, bite the bullet, pay the money or whatever to recall them back early and bring them back if you believe that those players are going to do something. They don't believe in these players, bro. It's all hype and nonsense, bro. It's all hype and nonsense. I don't understand, yeah? They want to rebuild to players they told us get behind. Now all of a sudden you want to get rid of them. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. These men are trying to talk about Arteta, yeah, like he's Ange Postecoglou, that he's walked into a team that he hasn't rebuilt, that he still needs certain players. Nah, he's had the time. All these players here are his players. He bought Calafiori, he bought Gabriel, he bought Timber. Do you know what I'm saying? He bought Rice, he bought Trossard, he bought Moreno. Now, I'm not hearing any of it. He bought Jorginho, he bought Sterling, he bought Zinchenko. Do you know what I'm saying? All these players are his players. He bought Kivior. What are we talking about? This manager ain't backed. Yeah. I'm sorry. This guy, is one-dimensional, bro. He only knows how to play a pep system. If you notice, we never change formation. No matter how many injuries we got, we always play the same formation, no matter what. Even if we don't have the players available to play that formation, we'll play that formation. Man, talking about getting the most out of the players being ready to do more and beyond what their position is in terms of if Moreno needs to play as striker, if Partey needs to play as a right back. Why don't you, as a manager, get the most out of the players that you've got in changing the formation to at least make us be more competitive, know how to transition defensively, not so naive? Why don't you change the formation to get the most out of the players that you've got? Why is it always players have to learn different positions, but you can't change your system? You can't change the way that you allocate these players. You don't know what the best... bro, this guy, bro, there's so much wrong with this manager, yeah? This is the same manager talking about players developing. You bought Calafiori as a fullback, he can't play fullback. You bought Zinchenko as a fullback, can't play fullback. You played Jesus as a 10 before. You played Trossard as a 10. You've played Moreno as a 10. You've played flipping Trossard as a 10. You've played Partey as a right back. You've played Kivior as a centre back. You played all these players in positions that they're not good enough, bro. And yet you're talking about the players being up to perform out of position. How about you actually know the quality of players that you bring into the club?
Yep.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know his own players that he's brought in. He doesn't know their best attributes and what position they are better utilized in. Yep. This is embarrassing. You bought these players. How do you not know what their strengths and weaknesses are? You scouted them. You brought them here. You asked for the funds to bring these players in, and yet you don't know their strengths and weaknesses in. And yet the players are supposed to get behind you. Bro, it's absolutely ridiculous the way this guy is managing his squad, bro. Absolutely ridiculous, bro.